All right, Colts fans, we should be live, live reacting to this Jonathan Taylor news. I'm just checking and making sure that's right. But it looks like I am live. I got two screens going on here, my camera here and my other screen here. So you're gonna have to bear with me as I kind of rush to get this set up to give some reactions here. Um, so big news today, obviously, is Jonathan Taylor has requested a trade from the Indianapolis Colts, and we're gonna wait and kind of let some people file into chat here. But yeah, this news just happened. This is just fresh. Ian Rappaport, obviously renowned reporter. This guy gets stuff right. He reported that Taylor requested a trade, and then followed up by that report is Stephen Holder, kind of a Colts insider. The guy's been around for a long time now, currently working with a ESPN guy, goes on and says, hey, I've been kind of tracking this as well. This trade came in a few days ago. This request came in a few days ago, and from what he's hearing is the Colts aren't telling Jonathan Taylor no. They're saying it's not like, hey, let's work through this. You hear sometimes, I don't know. Obviously, I'm thinking of big sports players who have requested trades in the past and worked things out. I remember Kobe Bryant. There was times when Kobe wanted to leave the Lakers, and you hear of moments like that where things get flushed out. But this situation is different because Jonathan Taylor's a running back, and the Colts have not been very. They have not been very. They obviously don't want. They don't care enough to have him back. They haven't offered him a contract yet. They really. I mean, you've seen Irsay's tweets. Irsay's come out and he's kind of taken half shots at Taylor's agent, and it just has not been pretty. I'm sitting here. I'm at Culver's, just trying to enjoy my evening, and the next thing I know, I see the news come across my ticker, so I'm doing a live stream. But yeah, I'd like to see what you guys in chat think as well. What's your guys' thoughts kind of on this trade, and maybe we'll go kind of have a conversation. I wouldn't even be opposed to having some people jump on the stream with me to talk about this as well. Thinking back, looking at this situation and just kind of how it progressed. First of all, Jonathan Taylor, great running back. He's been a healthy, he was healthy most of his career so far. Obviously, last season he had the ankle injury and then he had surgery in the offseason. But overall, for a running back, he's been pretty reliable. You just gotta wonder what transpired in private. Still got this Culver's Cup, by the way. What transpired in private that made this escalate so quickly? We've seen the pictures. There's some really good podcasts that have shared these pictures. Bring the Juice, one of them, where you could see Taylor from 2022, and then you've seen Taylor in 2023 at training camp. He was there, maybe in body, but in spirit, Jonathan Taylor was not. He was not there. He looked stone faced. Honestly, looked like a locker room cancer. The dude looked like a locker room cancer. I'm looking through chat right now. I see chat's popping right now. I see Joe. I don't care what Irsay's role is in this. It's Ballard's responsibility to give out contracts. Hate Ballard is what Joe says. That's interesting, Joe. I hear you. The only thing I would say is, historically, no matter who the GM of the Colts has been, the Colts have not paid running backs. You look at Marshall Faulk back in the day. We didn't pay Marshall Faulk. We traded him to the Rams. You think about Edgerrin James, probably the greatest Indianapolis Colt running back of all time. They didn't pay Edgerrin James. Now you look at Jonathan Taylor, and obviously we're not going to pay Taylor. And the GM, at least this time around, is different than Bill Polian. Irsay's been a common denominator. So the Colts don't have a history of paying running backs. It seems like they move on. I mean, it just is what it is. But I see your point. I do think Ballard and Irsay probably share a similar opinion on this one. DSG Goodbar, Taylor will end up in Miami. I'm thinking it's possible. You look at a team like Miami, they need that extra push. I could see that happening. Eddie James, what's up, Eddie? How you doing? How are you feeling, Eddie, about this one? I see Van Albright. He says, I'm so sick right now. Dude, I had thought about buying a Jonathan Taylor jersey last year before the season started. I'm not a big jersey guy. I've got a Luck, and I've got a Manning Super Bowl XLI. I bought the Luck jersey like literally 3 months before his retirement. I spent I got the stitched on, and I got the authentic, and it was a lot of money. And I told myself I was never going to buy another jersey. Almost bought a Jonathan Taylor one. Glad I didn't. Nate Dogg says he's still in his rookie contract. JT, give it some time and play through this season, then get paid. I don't think that's happening, man. I think he's either going to get paid or he's going to get traded. And that's what I read. Colts never offered Taylor a contract this year. They said they wanted to wait. Irsay said they wanted to wait till after this season to pay him. And Taylor wants to get paid now. I think that's where a lot of this stick up is. The Colts haven't even offered him a contract, and he probably feels disrespected. And I'm going to check on Twitter real quick here while I go through, just to make sure I'm not missing anything. See if there's any other news. Obviously, about 48 minutes ago, Ian Rappaport broke the news that Jonathan Taylor is he's requested this trade. Irsay actually at training camp did an interview, and I mean, Colts training camp practice is going on right now, I believe. So the interesting time, shades of luck preseason vibes. Jacob Ewing says, I was so looking forward to the AR-JT duo. Me too, man. I was thinking AR running that rock, JT in a read option set. I mean, I thought they would really wear down defenses. It's disgusting. Van Albright says, I blame his agent. I don't know how much it is his agent. At the end of the day, Taylor fired his last agent and brought this guy in. And he probably did his research on this guy before he hired him. And Taylor had a chance to stick up for, how should I say this? Taylor had a chance to address the agent's comments, and he didn't. And now him requesting a trade shows me that he actually is kind of more on his side with his agent than he is not. Van Albright says, me too, I almost ordered it last weekend. Dude, you're lucky. Buying NFL jerseys is not a good investment anymore. I remember like 10, 15 years ago, you could buy a jersey and feel pretty good. Like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be on the team for like 7, 8 years. Now it's like NBA. Like these guys get traded. Even if they're a star, it doesn't mean they're gonna stay on the team. You're better off buying a retro jersey, honestly. Now, what else is going on here? I'm just reading through the chat here. Super Pony says no one's gonna pay him what he wants. There's always... He'll find a team that'll pay him $12, $13 million over 2-3 years, probably 3 years. I think he'll find a team because he can help you win games. I mean, he was the main reason the Colts won games 2 years ago. Carson Wentz wasn't the reason. Joe Mape says, I'm going to vomit when I hear Ballard say next man up. Hey, next man up, Zach Moss, baby. Get the Zach Moss jerseys out. And Travis says, he's my favorite player. I'm sick right now. I feel like his agent has a lot to be blamed for this. Is JT worth C-Mac money? I don't think so. Here's I'm going to get back to you in a second, Devin. I see in Shanester saying, hey, Josh, what do you believe we could get in return for trading Taylor away? 3rd round pick and maybe a conditional pick. So I'm thinking you got to look at, first of all, Jonathan Taylor has requested a trade from the Colts. He also has, he's entering the last year of his contract. So whoever trades for Taylor not only knows that he doesn't want to play for our team, but they have to re-sign this guy in a dicey running back market. So in my opinion, it's a 3rd round pick and maybe a conditional pick based on games played and maybe stats. You look at Jalen. NFL, that's the thing about NFL. What's what sucks about trading stars in the NFL is they don't, very often they aren't getting... they're not going for a lot. Like, look at Jalen Ramsey, for example. Jalen Ramsey went for what, a 3rd round draft pick? Something like that? And he was top 5 corner in the game still. Obviously, Taylor, much different situation, doesn't want to play here. You guys are hearing what I'm hearing. I mean, it's not looking good. I'm looking through here. Is JT worth C-Mac money? I don't think he is worth C-Mac money. At the end of the day, Taylor had one really, really, really good year, and last year he's coming off an injury. I don't think he's going to get C-Mac money. I really don't. I gotta take again. I was at Culver's. Me and the wife were, and I'm enjoying my Saturday evening. I don't know where you guys are all from. We're in Indiana, obviously Indiana. Colts had storms come through. My power's out. We get the power back on. I'm feeling good, and the next thing I know, Jonathan Taylor requests a trade. It's just like, come on. I feel like the Colts are cursed. Thinking back to when Luck, I feel like ever since Luck retired, my camera's blurry, by the way. I'm gonna turn it off and see if I can get it fixed. Hold on real quick, fellas. There we go. It's a lot better now. So when Luck retired back in 2018, I feel like after that moment, the Colts were cursed. Like we go from Luck, and then we go to Jacoby, and then it just starts to snowball. Obviously, Phillip Rivers, who played solid. Then we get Carson Wentz, and then it just seems like since then our franchise has become incompetent. And maybe we always were incompetent. Maybe we've always been protected by elite quarterback play. But when moments like this, I mean, when is the last time a great player from the Colts has requested a trade? We don't know if Stephen Gilmore requested a trade or not, but this, in recent memory, this is the time when a player we really kind of wanted to keep maybe has requested a trade. That's not a good look. Tiff says, do the Colts have another running back in line? And we got Evan Hall. He's a rookie. We've got some, Zach Moss. We got him. The truth is, and this is why they say running backs don't deserve to be paid. There's always a guy in line that can be serviceable, and you can run by committee, and you can do certain things. But Jonathan Taylor was just a breed of player that he's going to be hard to replace. He just is. I don't care. I like to shed like an optimistic, positive light on things, but I don't think this is the time we can do that. I really don't. I'm reading through these comments some more. Van Albright says Culver's has the best fish sandwiches. Man, I just get a plain cheeseburger and a extra cheese, and that's about all I get. Let's see who else is. Joe Maple says start the tank. We're well on our way to draft a guard #1 overall. Build a Ballard, baby. Hey man, we'll be strong in them trenches, maybe. The Curse of Luck. It sounds like a book there. So I don't know, fellas. It is not looking good for this Taylor situation. I'm just checking Twitter real quick, making sure there's no new news. What do you guys think in the comments? What's your thoughts on the value? Are you guys thinking mid-round pick as well, third-round pick, conditional pick, or anybody else feeling like that's off at all? For me, I don't see. It's not like we're going to get a first-round pick for him. I highly doubt a second-round pick for him. I'm checking through Twitter right now, just checking. I don't see anything. And yeah, Colts training camp, I believe, is going on right now. So that's definitely got to be interesting. And Josina Anderson, I'm reading this now. I'm told the initial trade request for Jonathan Taylor was actually made on behalf to Chris Ballard a few days ago. It appears that Jim Irsay's meeting with Jonathan Taylor is subsequent to the initial discussion about the possibility for a trade. So that's happening. I mean, it's happening. I don't see a way how Taylor comes back. We're in a rebuild year anyway. We got a rookie quarterback. It sucks because I thought it was going to really help his development, but I don't see it happening. Yeah, if you guys can hit that like button, that would be great. Just to kind of tell you about our show. Typically, I do this with my guy, Dan. Been a Colts fan for, 15, 16 years. Actually, the first year I started watching, they beat the Bears in the Super Bowl, and then after that, they sucked. Well, they didn't suck, but they haven't won since. It's interesting just how football works, kind of. And I've said, hey, you know what? It's time to start a podcast. And if you look at our other episodes, you'll notice they're all underneath like 10, 15 minutes. We don't typically try to kind of ramble on about things. We get straight to the point. We give authentic takes. We're not going to over dramatize things, and we're not going to beat around the bush too much. That's just kind of how we are. Jacob Ewing says he's the only way I can get over this loss is if we tank and get Marvin Harrison Jr. Dude, if the Colts get Marvin Harrison Jr., my pain will go away. And I said I wouldn't buy a jersey. I'd buy the Marvin Harrison Jr. jersey. I don't care. I would definitely get one of those bad boys. The Colts the Colts schedule this year is not that tough though. They would have to be pretty sorry to get Marvin Harrison Jr. I think the Titans should trade for him and take over for Henry. Justin, I don't know if that's going to happen there, bud. I think Henry's probably got 2 more years left in that tank, and I think there's a better shot of Tannehill being the MVP than that, which isn't very good. Second rounder, tag him, dude. There's no way we're gonna tag this boy. The problem with tagging him is he's going to come in and he's not going to come in. He's going to hold out. And if he does, he's going to be a cancer. I mean, look, if you look at those pictures of what he was at just training camp, he's got his arms crossed. He's looking down. The dude is not a positive, not very positive around the team right now. Let me drink some more of my Culvers here. I say he takes the offer, he hits the road. Yeah, Eric, he's hitting the road, man. We didn't send him an offer. Again, the Colts did not offer Jonathan Taylor a contract. We want to wait till after this season to offer him, and Taylor's upset about that. He wants, it's like that commercial, it's my money and I want it now. I think that's what he wants. Let's see here. Why wasn't Taylor cut in the offseason? He's washed up. Brian, he's not washed up. He was a little nicked up, missed 6, 7, 8 games last year, 6 or 7 games, and he still had a halfway decent season. And if you're gonna move on from a player, somebody will pay you something. So you'd rather get a mid-round pick than cut the guy at the worst. And, so let's see what else everyone's saying in the chat. If we trade him, then maybe make a move for Cook. There's Dalvin Cook. He's an option. I don't hate that idea. I really don't. I think maybe you trade him and then you sign a guy like Dalvin. Tag him. Is this serious? There's no way he gets tagged. He doesn't get tagged. Let's get Richardson jersey. At least we get 4 years. Yeah, I hope we get 4 years out of Richardson jersey. Give away Taylor for Hopkins. Man, oh man, guys, what's going on? I'm just reading through that chat, and it is not a pretty time right now in Indianapolis as Colts fans are kind of soaking this in. What are you guys thinking right now? Obviously, we have Jonathan Taylor requesting this trade. How big of a deal do you think this is for Anthony Richardson and his development? Personally, I'm looking at this situation, and I was kind of one of those guys that said Richardson's going to start day one. And maybe it wasn't going to be pretty, but Jonathan Taylor was probably going to get 25 touches in a game, and Richardson was going to get maybe 15 pass attempts, and maybe some of those he might run on. I think this impacts Richardson. I think this might impact his opportunity of starting early a little bit. Eric says, what's he asking for contract-wise? We don't know. It's safe to assume, you look at guys like CMC and you look at some of these top running backs making up north of 16, 17, 18 million dollars a year. Taylor probably is asking for something similar to that. And the truth is, at the end of the day, the Colts could afford that. We have the cap space. We do. We have a quarterback who is on a rookie contract, and that is the ultimate key to affording players like that is having a quarterback who kind of doesn't eat up all your salary cap, which is why personally I wanted the Colts to re-sign Jonathan Taylor. I did want them to give him a 3-year contract. And I know the argument is that, hey, teams who win Super Bowls don't have an elite running back. And I agree. But as Colts fans, and this is a Colts podcast, we are not a Super Bowl caliber team. We're not. It's going to take us 2 years to get there, 2-3 years to get there. And that's about how long I would have re-signed Taylor for. And then you let somebody else overpay for him. The guy put on a lot of miles on them legs over there in college in Wisconsin. But I think he really could have helped with some RPOs and been dynamic while we got an additional playmaker for AR5 to throw to. Maybe Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm not sure. But mark my words, JT plays this year, and if he does, he will be paid. Someone's going to pay him. I just don't see a situation where the Colts will fix this situation. It does seem like an irreparable situation when a player like this comes out and they request a trade. And again, seeing those photos, it was not looking good. Taylor has a point. If Ballard can pay a bum like Smith for $42 million, why can't he pay Taylor? Brian, look, I see your point. But at the end of the day, the running back has a market in the NFL, and the market shows that you don't pay running backs. You pay tackles who protect your quarterback. You don't pay running backs as much because it's easier to replace a running back than it is a right tackle. How I mean, think about it this way. We had Marlon Mack. And remember, we thought Marlon Mack was our guy. And then remember when we took Jonathan Taylor in the second round, everybody's like, whoa, 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 what are we doing? Why are we taking this guy in the second round? And it was just like that. Marlon Mack, he pops his Achilles, week 1, and he's gone. I mean, his career in Indy was done. Taylor comes in and steals the show. We didn't know he was going to be that good, but we thought he was going to be at least as good as Marlon Mack. And it just goes to show that it's a lot easier to hit on running backs than it is right tackles or left tackles. And that's kind of why we did pay for Smith. But I do think paying for Taylor would have been the wise choice. Eric, yeah, his contract ends after this year. So he's on contract with the Colts on his rookie deal for this year. They could tag him after this year, but I don't. First of all, they won't tag him. Second of all, the only way how he comes back, the only way how he returns to Indianapolis and doesn't get traded is if he gets a new contract. Ballard and Irsay aren't going to sweet talk this dude into staying without money. Yeah, Lil Wooddale Irsay, he does not believe in paying running backs. We've seen it with Falk, we've seen it with James, and now we see it with Taylor. I got the meats. He says running backs have no leverage, so they have to ask for a trade to get any. I agree. It could be a leverage move as well. Maybe they're trying to play a hardball a little bit, or he's saying, hey, pay me or send me to somebody who does pay me. Take the Debo Samuel contract stance. What else is going on? Wasn't no quarterback in college back then. I don't like all the awful contracts Ballard has handed out. Nelson, Kelly, Smith, 3 atrocious contracts. The problem is, I mean, at one point, Kelly was a Pro Bowl center. Nelson, I mean, he had a down year last year, but he's still a really good player. I mean, you can't, if you let this guy walk, if you let Quentin Nelson walk for nothing, I mean, what are you gonna do? Like you're gonna have to pay guys. You're gonna have to pay somebody. So you might as well pay guys you've taken and try to build up a core. Who else is going on? Sloppy Joe. I would take a 6th-round pick for him. I think you could get a 3rd-round pick for Taylor. I think you could get a 3rd-round pick for Taylor, and a conditional pick, maybe a 4th that can come into another 3rd, depending on downs and stats. Pay Taylor or trade him. Again, why can't Taylor play out the contract and earn his big contract? NJNETs, man, the truth is he doesn't want to risk injury. The NFL is a business, and Jonathan Taylor knows that if he comes out week 1, just like how he replaced Marlon Mack, it takes one step to pop an Achilles. It takes one hit and your knee is gone, especially as a running back. Taylor knows that his career as a running back, especially, done in a second. So he's trying to get that. He won't get a fully guaranteed contract as a running back, obviously, but he can get 20 million guaranteed and know that his life is set, and be good. That's what he's fighting for right now. What else is going on? Respectfully, there's 4 or 5 guys I would pay. All other running backs need to chill. Henry, Chubb, Taylor, Jacobs, Barkley. I agree with that list, Coach AJ. I agree with that list. JT could be generational, Justin. I agree with that. The problem is Jonathan Taylor, when he was healthy 2 seasons ago, the dude carried the Colts. I don't know if you got, think it back. Carson Wentz could not complete a pass. The guy was inaccurate. Everybody knew what we were going to do. The boxes were stacked. They were loaded up. We didn't have, our best receiver was Michael Pittman, still is. We didn't really have a strong number 2. I think T.Y. was, he was at the end of his career. And everybody knew what we were trying to do. And we would still run it, and we'd still get yards, and he would still bust off 150, 200-yard games. Remember that Patriot game? It was 3rd and 1. We needed to ice the game. The box was loaded up, and yeah, there was a huge hole. Anybody could have ran through it, but Taylor freaking outran the guy and iced the game. That's the type of running back he is, which is why, again, I wanted to pay the guy. But hey, I'm just a talking head on YouTube. Who else is on? Carson Wentz won those games. Yeah. I don't know. That's a bold claim there. Is this new agent getting in his head? Could his new agent be getting in his head? I think it's a combination of a few things. Nav, I think his agent is obviously the agents get paid based on however much they negotiate for you in a contract. They get a percentage of that. So yeah, in a way, he's pushing Taylor to get as much money as possible. And secondly, this time for Taylor's contract issue to come up, worst possible time ever, because all these other running backs are trying to get paid as well. And you hear the Zoom call with Austin Eckler and Cook and Saquon. Not only does Taylor have his agent in his ear, but he's got all the other elite running backs in his ear telling him what to do. So he's getting this pressure from all sorts of different angles. It's really a complicated situation, and I've been talking for a little bit, so I gotta text my wife and I gotta have her make me some chocolate milk, because I'm getting worked up over here, and not in a good way. Y'all getting a taste of how we felt with the AJ Brown trade. Look, dude, it sucks. Hi, Josh. What's an honest prediction on the Colts record this year, especially without JT? Oh, dude, not good. Not good. 5 wins, maybe. I'm going to say 5 wins. Over under. My over under is 5.5 wins. Who else is in chat? I'm looking through here. See anybody else? What is going on, Colts Nation? Again, if you have been living underneath a rock, I just want to update you guys. Jonathan Taylor, Colts star running back, has requested a trade. A few days ago, he told Chris Ballard he wants out of Indianapolis. The Colts have not offered Jonathan Taylor a contract. They wanted to wait till after this season to do it. And Taylor wants paid as soon as possible. Is it true that Irsay talked to him in his bus? Listen, I don't know. You know, with Jim Irsay, we've heard stories upon stories. We've heard of this dude going in people's bathrooms and causing Josh McDaniels to not want to be the Colts head coach. So anything is on the table for Jim Irsay. We've seen the Twitter blast offs by Irsay, so anything's possible. And I'm checking Twitter right now to see if I've missed anything here, as it is a big day in Indianapolis. Is again probably the Colts' best. Probably their best player when healthy. You could argue Quentin Nelson. You could argue Shaq Leonard, but he's top 3. And here's a quote from Jim Irsay. If I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor's out of the league, no one is going to miss us. The league goes on. We know that. The National Football League rolls on. It doesn't matter who comes out and who goes. It's a privilege to be a part of it. Let me reread that by Jim Irsay. If I die tonight and Jonathan Taylor is out of the league, no one's going to miss us. The league goes on. We know that. The National Football League rolls on. It doesn't matter who comes and who goes, and it's a privilege to be a part of it. This relationship is soured. And boys, thank you for checking out my stream. I got my chocolate milk. I gotta take a drink. Because I'm taking a big chocolate milk drink to that one. This relationship is... This is not getting fixed, guys. When I read that quote by Irsay, this dude they've had some discussions in private, and they have not gone well. They have not gone well. It's been ugly. I'm just surprised that it's got to this point almost. Brandon says the Colts can't trade Taylor. Why do you say that, Brandon? Or do you just don't want him to trade Taylor, or what are you saying? I'm just looking through these other tweets here, other quotes. It's amazing of how fast this came together. It really is. Let's see here. Jonathan Taylor's requested a trade. Nothing else popping up. I don't see any more quotes. Again, we're giving this is a live reaction to this Taylor news. Top suitors. I'm just looking here. Miami. Some people are saying Miami is a top It's tough, man. Joe Mapes says, isn't the goal to win? How does trading him help us? Joe, the truth is, when you're building a roster in the NFL, the immediate goal is always to win, probably, and you're right. Trading Taylor, if we trade Taylor, the likelihood of us winning 7 games in a year goes down. But the truth is, it's a locker room issue. It makes things toxic if he stays. And if you think you can get something for the future, because the truth is, the Colts will never go outright and say it. Ballard and Irsay aren't going to say it. This season, we're not winning the Super Bowl. We're not. Whether we win 8 games or we win 5 games, our season is more about what? Developing Anthony Richardson, developing Josh Downs, developing Jelani Woods, developing our secondary, Kwity Paye, making sure these guys get better and building for the future and building this new nucleus of a roster. If you think about the golden era of Indianapolis with Manning, Wayne, Harrison, Clark, Freeney, Mathis, why did all these guys stay together? Because they were bought in. The Colts are trying to create that kind of culture. So when you're down 18 points in the AFC Championship against Tom Brady, these guys have each other's back. You don't want a guy that's just here because he has to be. So that's why you kind of have to trade him. But yeah, it sucks because when you trade him, you're probably not going to get much for him. You're going to get a third-round pick, and Ballard's probably going to take an incredibly athletic defensive end who's probably not going to pan out. And I halfway like Ballard, but it's true. I'm reading through here. Well, so Albert Breer texted Jim Irsay, and he said he wasn't going to trade him. Is that true, Daniel? I got to text this. I got to check this now. We don't know if we trust you, so we got to check it. News coming after Jim Irsay left practice here in Indy. Jonathan Taylor just met with Irsay on the owner's bus. He sent that at 8. When did he send that at? He sent that a little while ago. I'm not seeing that Albert Breer thing. Oh, text from Colts owner Jim Irsay on Jonathan's trade request. We're not trading Jonathan. In discussion. Not now and not in October. It is on in Indianapolis, boys. I just read it. It is on in Indianapolis. I don't know what's going to happen, but the Colts are not trading Taylor, according to Jim Irsay. It's freaking on. I got to drink my milk again because I got to think about what I'm going to say. Oh, man. It's smart, though. Could Taylor be pushing this news, or could his agent, Milky, whatever the frick his name is, they could be pushing this for leverage. And somebody mentioned this earlier. It could be for leverage. And Irsay and his is saying, hey, guess what? You're under contract with the Colts. Don't show up. We'll fine you. And we'll work this contract out after this year. Man. Daniel, look, I'm sorry. I didn't believe you. I didn't believe you, but you're right, man. I just can't believe this. Brian, I don't know if I still trust Ballard. I think that Ballard is really good at hitting on positions that don't mean too much. And with Luck retiring, I felt that his opportunity to win or to really hit on a quarterback was that first offseason where Herbert was there and Tua was there. I liked Herbert a lot, actually. And instead he went with Rivers. And I thought about that recently, actually, on why they went with Rivers instead of trading up. And I think they kind of halfway believed that Luck might come back. So that's why at that point, they thought Luck might come back. So that's why they signed Rivers. Truth is, Ballard is an average NFL GM. And most NFL GMs are average until they hit on that quarterback position. And then they look elite, even though they miss on draft picks all the time. I mean, you look at Belichick. I mean, he's a coach GM. And the amount of draft picks he missed on with Tom Brady, especially in the latter part of Brady's career, but the amount of holes that was covered up. You look at Bill Polian. I know early on in the early 2000s he hit on a lot of picks, but later on Polian missed on a lot of picks with the Colts, and Manning covered them flaws. Brian says Ballard has a good roster with DTs and linebackers. We got a lot of decent players. We do, and Michael Pittman's, Alec Pierce's of the world. If we had an elite quarterback, I mean, don't get it twisted now. I mean, this roster with an elite quarterback, I still think would be very good. But hey, the truth is, I can't remember the last time, and I said this earlier, and we've got 300 viewers, and it amazes me. I and I appreciate you guys coming. And if you aren't subscribed to our channel, please hit that subscribe button. And we're going to be covering all sorts of Colts content in the future. But it amazes me that this negotiation process from start to finish. I mean, this transpired over a week, and Irsay blasts his tweet off, and Melky, whatever the heck his name is, as an agent, gets on Twitter and blasts all this stuff off. I don't know how this can transpire in 2023 with Irsay and Ballard at the helm. You would think Irsay would kind of unplug a little bit from the public relations side of things because he's not good at it. I feel like in a way the Colts have become the laughing stock of the NFL. You look at ever since Luck retired, how the Saturday thing happened and all these quarterbacks, and now this. It feels like we're entering, especially if this Richardson thing doesn't pan out, we are entering a kind of scary territory here. Let me hit this chocolate milk again. Greg Holmes says, hoping it was just his agent. It could be just his agent. Truth is, we don't know, and we'll probably never know. Taylor's been silent. He's let his agent do the talking and let his agent do his job. And his agent's not the most classy person in the world, but what he's doing is putting the Colts in a spot where they have to make a move. That's exactly what his agent has done. And you could say what you want about this guy, because you look at his tweets and you look at his other things, and this guy kind of seems like a scumbag a little bit. But what he's done now is he's put the pressure on the Colts. The Colts are like, hey, now you got to wait. You got to play out a whole new year. Well, this agent's saying, hey, look, pay my guy, or trade him. And now Irsay's coming back and saying, no, you got to play. We're not trading you. It's coming to a head now. Interesting stuff. Never forget, Ballard hired Josh McDaniels. I remember that one. I wish I didn't. Oh, we them boys. The Dark Net saying the Cowboys want Jonathan Taylor. I didn't think about the Cowboys. Cowboys fans, what are you thinking? What are you guys willing to give up for Jonathan Taylor? Let's negotiate this contract right now. I'm here, and we'll send it to Jerry. The drama is unwelcomed. Distraction for a 4-12-1 team with a rookie quarterback. No way to spin that. Not good. Not a good way to spin it. But for a startup podcast like mine that's a year old, it's good for clicks. That's about all it's good for, man. I'm right there with you. Lil Wooddale, Titans fan. Look, man, I'm not a big Titans fan. All I remember is the Colts beating up on you guys for the last however long. But you guys have gotten the better end of us recently. Yeah, Adam List sharing again the text from Jim Irsay on Jonathan Taylor's trade request. We're not trading Jonathan. End of discussion. Not now, not in October. Jim Irsay drawing the line in the sand and said, bring it, man. Jim Irsay is crazy. And I like how he's going public with it. So he's confirming the reports and going public with it. Justin Robinson says, I heard from Dan, the guy on the right, to trade JT. He said he's, yeah, well, who knows? Dan's emotional right now. Let's not take Dan's words too serious here. We'll take Jonathan Taylor and let Henry show him how to become king. You Titans fans, you guys are always unrealistic. Well, Dalvin Cook is going to the Jets, so not really any more good running backs. Yeah, the truth is, we're probably not going to replace Taylor this off. If we trade him, we're not going to replace him this offseason. It shows more that we're entering a rebuild type of phase in Indianapolis. And you just have to wonder what the aftermath would be for the other veterans on this roster. What does someone like DeForest Buckner, who's kind of exiting the prime of his career, or kind of aging a little bit, or even Shaq Leonard or Ryan Kelly, guys who were on this roster and kind of had high expectations and now are seeing this all transpire. What do you think they're thinking right now? Taylor, do you think Taylor will be a no-show next week? Absolutely. I think Taylor's going to be a no-show next week. If the guy requested a trade, I don't see him being back next week unless if there's some deep conversations happening over this weekend. Van Albright says, someone take Irsay's phone away from him. The dude, he needs a parental lock. There needs to be 6 passwords, a nuclear cell away from the guy's cell phone, because when Irsay gets on that phone, man, you never know what's going to be said. Don't sleep on Evan Hall. Van, you believe in Evan Hall. And let me tell you guys a little bit about Evan Hall. I'm going to Google some information on him, just so I make sure I get this right. Because I forget, I'm trying to remember which round we picked him in. 176. I forget. 5th round, that's right. Yeah. So some guys are saying we go on our 5th round pick. For some reason, I thought he was a 6th round pick, but he was the 5th round pick. Some people are saying, hey, we believe in our 5th round running back. Let him go and be our starter. And I know he had some starting reps earlier this week as our starting running back. Look, you know what they say, running back position, easiest to fill. Maybe you start the rookie and you sign another veteran and you just kind of plow your way through the season. I don't know. What else is going on? We got 360 views right now. I appreciate you guys all coming in, chat, and talking with me today. We've been live for about 41 minutes here. It's been a productive chat today and a lot of emotions for Colts fans. It's definitely an interesting time. And as a Colts fan, obviously, I think back to when is the last time a guy has requested a trade from the Colts and not been happy? A guy that we wanted to keep. And I really can't think of one. What else is going on here? I'm just checking Twitter again. I want to make sure. And if you guys aren't subbed already, make sure you're subbed to our channel. It would mean a lot if you're subbed to our channel. Look, we're doing 3, 4, 5 Colts episodes a week, pretty much nonstop Colts content. So make sure you're all subscribed and all that good stuff. Checking Twitter here, making sure I'm not missing anything else. If not, yeah. I'm doubting we hear anything else. Yeah, I did see. Okay, I do see. The bus rumor is true. Jim Irsay pulled up to practice and invited a guest onto his luxury bus, Jonathan Taylor. So that whole bus conversation that you guys talked about and getting Jonathan Taylor on that bus, it's true. They did meet in the Jim Irsay bus. So maybe Jim's trying to wheel in a deal with Jonathan. Maybe something gets worked out. Again, Van says hit that like button. Man, the number one fan, Van. And Il Ross says you can get ripped off and make a lot of money, or you can not get ripped off and make nothing. That's a quote right there for you guys. Look, guys, I've been going on for about 45 minutes, and that's about 40 minutes longer than I usually go on for. So if you guys wanted to subscribe to my channel, the Common Colt Podcast, would mean a lot. Look, we've been doing this stuff for about a year now. We give authentic Colts takes, nonstop Colts news. We try not to overreact on things. We just try to tell it how it is. And I appreciate you guys for kind of reacting to this moment with us, but I really don't have anything else to say. I can't go on for an hour talking. That's not how I do things. I've run out of stuff to say. So I'm going to cut this stream. I appreciate you guys all for jumping in chat. It was really fun. And maybe next time, guys, you can we'll have another episode coming out probably in 2-3 days. I actually have another reaction video to this Taylor news just on our standard channel, so be sure to check that out. But I'm done talking. It's been 45 minutes, guys. Thank you again so much for doing this with me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And hey, who knows? Maybe some magic happens with Taylor and the Colts after all. They're not looking good though. Have a great day, guys. Be safe. Have a good rest of your weekend.